Dear Diary, today I cooked 3 simple meals. Hungarian stew simmered slow, oatmeal raisin cookies warmed the house, and a forgotten trash find found a new purpose. Between meals, I shared a glimpse of the bison, just the quiet part of the farm life. Just feeding my family using what we have and letting simple work speak for itself. 3 meals, 1 honest day, plenty to be thankful for.
When we come to the farm, the very first thing kids ask when they get up on Saturday morning is, "Mama, what are we having for breakfast?" Since we only come to the farm on the weekends, I try to have staples like milk and eggs in the fridge at all times. And then on Fridays when we come in, I usually bring groceries with me, like sausage and bacon to cook for breakfast. This morning, I decided to make a dish that everybody loves, and we rarely have any leftovers. So I decided to double the recipe and make a lot so we can have leftover the next day. Growing up in Belarus, my mom would make blini for breakfast for me. So now as I have 4 children of my own, it's a tradition that I am continuing. I hope that this recipe becomes one of those quiet childhood memories, the kind that you don't realize matter until you're all grown up. Aside from memories, what I love about this dish is that it's so easy to make, very few ingredients, and it tastes so delicious. All you need is milk, eggs, and flour, and butter for the pan. I will link this recipe with exact measurements in the description of this video. To sum it up, you add wet and dry ingredients together, mix it well. I use a sifter to make sure that at the end my batter is smooth, but you definitely can use blender way quicker. I just don't have blender big enough at our farmhouse to do that. People often ask me if Russian blini and French crepes are the same thing. I personally don't think so. So blini are cooked in butter, not just like a lightly greased pan, but like butter. And that alone makes a huge difference. They're richer, they're more savory, and they're meant to be eaten warm, almost like comfort food. Crepes, on the other hand, they feel more lighter and more delicate, while blini to me feels like home. I was so glad that I decided to do a double batch because the first probably 10 to 12 blinov, they were gone. Kids kept on coming and, "Can I have another one? Can I have another one?" The little man decided to just sit right next to me so he can have the first dibs on them. And as a mama, this fills my heart so much because I am able to share part of my culture that I grew up in with my children through food that they love.
Yeah, especially when somebody eats it. Another one?
Yeah. Mom, have blueberries.
My kids love eating blini with raspberry jam, or in this case today, I made strawberry sauce. My husband and I love eating ours plain. I add a little bit of butter, cover it up, and wait until it melts. Then I open up, then tear a little piece, dip in the middle where the butter melted, and just savor every bite. I have shared in the past that we have a bison farm, and I thought today I'll share a little bit more about it. Right now we have 12 bison. 6 belong to us and 6 belong to my in-laws. Over the years, my father-in-law worked really hard in developing the land that bison are in right now. I don't think I really understood just how hard farmers work until I have watched my father-in-law and my husband tending to the farm. And as far as what the plan is for these bison, some days I'm not quite sure. I think right now the plan is to just grow the herd. Since we are active duty military family and we are not at the farm all the time, it's kind of hard to do anything else. But in the future, maybe selling meat to the end consumer or having tours at the farm, and definitely hoping very soon enjoy the meat ourselves. After cleaning up the kitchen shortly after breakfast, it was time to start thinking about dinner. During cold days when it's nice, toasty, and cozy inside, I love using my crock pot. And today I decided to make Hungarian goulash. Before becoming stay-at-home mom and homeschooling mom, I worked for a company that produces different types of wire, medical wire, and I work as inside sales representative selling solar wire. Most of my customers were international customers, and I had the most wonderful vice president, and one year he allowed me to tag along with the team and travel to Germany, Austria, and I visited a customer in Hungary. And while there, I fell in love with goulash. I found a recipe that looked good online and decided to recreate it at home. I chopped up a small onion, 1 red pepper, and 1 yellow pepper. I cooked vegetables in a pan with a little bit of oil until vegetables caramelized, and then seasoned really well my meat. I added salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and then mixed it up really well. I also added 1 tablespoon of flour, and the purpose for it is to serve as a thickening agent once I sear my meat and add it to my liquid. Since I cannot drive in the snow because we live in the south, my husband picked up a few of the grocery items that I asked him while he was out, and he picked up the wrong kind of tomatoes. The tomato pieces were large in size. I wanted small pieces, but it's okay. I decided to just roll with it. I added chicken broth to my crock pot and then went on to check on my meat. If you want to make true Hungarian goulash, you have to use sweet paprika. Unfortunately, I only had regular paprika and smoked paprika. I did not have sweet paprika. My husband also couldn't find it at the store when I asked him to look. Now, there is a difference between regular paprika and sweet paprika. Sweet paprika is more flavorful and your color will be much darker and deeper. But to stay true to myself, I decided to improvise and just use 1 tablespoon of regular paprika, and later on added about 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika just to add a little bit more flavor. After moving the meat to the crock pot, I poured a little bit of the liquid from the crock pot back into the pan and just scraped up all the brown bits. That's where so much of the flavor is, and you do not want to leave it behind, so it all goes back into the crock pot. Now, as I was pouring all the liquid into the crock pot, I thought to myself, you know what? I just don't think my kids would enjoy this dish as much, knowing that there's big chunks of tomatoes swimming in this goulash. They don't mind small tomatoes, but those were a little bit too big for their liking. Since I put so much time and heart into making this dish, I really wanted my children to enjoy it and experience a different culture. So, as any good mom would do, I decided to pull all the meat back out, and then any kind of vegetable that was left in the juices, including the big tomatoes, I decided to use my little small blender to blend it up, and so that way they would not even know that tomatoes were even in there. Now, after blending, since my goulash is looking orange instead of deep red color, I decided to add 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika just for a little extra flavor, and then added carrots and potatoes, diced carrots and potatoes to my goulash. While my husband and kids were playing in the snow outside, I decided to work on a little small project that I have wanted to work on for so long, and trying to restore this drafting table I found at a local trash dump. I already stained this table once, and I bought a wood filler that said that it's stainable. However, you could still see it very well, and it kind of bothers me, so I decided to use a much darker stain to see if it would cover better. I'm not a DIY kind of gal, so I had to channel my inner Marcy from a YouTube channel called I Am Home and just go for it. And if you want to follow a super fun YouTube channel, check her channel out. I will link in my description. Watching Marcy create things out of nothing from thrifted items just kind of gave me a little boost that maybe I can do this project too. After covering this whole table with a darker stain, I'm still not quite sure that I love it. I could still see the spots where I originally covered the holes with the wood filler, It's still showing through, and I'm just at this point a little bit lost. I need your help. Do I just leave it as is, put a protective layer and call it a day, or should I paint it like maybe a country green color or do something else to it? At this point, I have worked up an appetite. I know my children and husband would be coming home any minute. They would be hungry, so it was time to make something quick. I made burger buns the day before using my honey whole wheat bread, which I will also link in the description of this video. It's so easy, so delicious, and they're incredibly soft. For burgers, I use ground beef. Just add my favorite seasoning, which happens to be salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. I like my patties to be the same size, and so I used a canning jar top. I put a little bit of plastic wrap inside of it to make it easier for my meat to come out, and then stuff it with the meat inside, and it forms like a perfect patty. I love using my meat press that I have found at Goodwill Outlet. In fact, I have two of them. I have one in North Carolina and one in our farmhouse in Virginia. They're the same thing, but we love using them to make flat, thin burger patties. I personally think that this meat press helps the burgers get a better browning. You get those crispy edges, that classic diner style flavor without waiting forever for the middle to cook through. My husband is a fun parent who braves the cold to enjoy snow days with kids, while I am a cold-natured person, love my warmth and fireplace. While visiting Austria for work, we ate goulash with bread. You just dip it in bread. There was no spoons, so I decided to make rolls with mine. While my dough was rising, I completely forgot about it, so I let it overproof, and as a result, I had flat bread rolls. I have made this recipe many times before. They come out amazing, big and soft, but you know what? This is real life. Mistakes happen, but you know what? My family did not complain about it one bit. At least my goulash turned out absolutely amazing. For after dinner dessert, I decided to make oatmeal cookies. Over the years as a baker, I have tried so many different recipes, and my cookies would either spread out too much or stay too thick, and I want my oatmeal raisin cookie to be a little bit on a chewy, softer side. Because we have a large family, I doubled my recipe, and let me tell you, even if you have a small family, you may want to double it as well. In the description, I will add ingredients for single batch. You want to cream your butter first. You add 2 sticks of room temperature of butter. You then want to add 1 cup of brown sugar and 2/3 cup of granulated sugar. Mix everything together until your butter is creamed, and then you're going to add 2 eggs and 3 teaspoons of vanilla. Next, we're going to add all the dry ingredients. We're going to add 2 cups of flour. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Mix everything together until well combined, and then measure out 3 cups of old-fashioned oats. Then we'll add 1 cup of raisins. You can add more. Original recipe for single batch was calling for 1 full cup of raisins, but because I'll also add 1 cup of pecans. And also, sometimes I actually had it on my table but completely forgot. I add about a cup for a doubled recipe. I add 1 cup of Reese's peanut butter bacon chips. As weird as it sounds, it actually tastes really good. I use ice cream scooper to scoop out the dough, but otherwise you can also form it with your hands. I just think it's just make it less easier and less messy, and then bake it in preheated oven at 375 for about 15 to 17 minutes. Now you want to look for the edges of your cookies to be set and brown, and the center still be a little bit soft, and let your cookies completely set and cool before enjoying it. Otherwise, if you try to enjoy it while they're hot, it will be all crumbly and not quite as chewy. And just like that, the cookies are done. 1 happy taste test later, the kids are back outside enjoying the snow. Thank you so much for spending the day with me. I will see you all on the next page with more recipes and real life.